welcome to another episode of Investors Playbook, episode 4,
Episode 4.
where we
Man,
help get off the sidelines and onto this wealth building journey. I'm Cornell Rowan.
and I'm Deshaun Edwards. And today we are talking about financial goals. All about financial goals. What's important to you? What is your priority, right? How do you figure out what your financial goals are? And then once you figure out what they are, how do you create goals to make those goals attainable? So we're going to deep dive into it. Cornell, I'm going to let you get started with it.
All right. So first, we're going to start off with just talking about the importance of setting financial goals because, of course, not everybody does it. And people need to know why because if you don't have a why, you're not going to be motivated when you're doing it. So a good reason to create financial goals is to just set a direction for yourself. Because if you don't know what you're aiming for, how do you know which way to go? How do you know what actions to take to get there? So first, you have to set a clear goal and find a path to that goal. So
All right,
what do
real
you?
quick. No, you're good. I was just gonna say. So, what are some examples of setting a clear goal? Because some people will say things like, "I want to make more money," or "I want to be comfortable." But what is an example of setting a clear goal?
So goals can range anywhere from short-term goals to mid-term to medium goals or long-term goals. A
Hmm.
short goal would be something like building an emergency fund,
Right.
right? So let's say you weren't too sure about your job. Well, everybody should have an emergency fund. So say you wanted to build 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund, right? So now you would create a budget to see how much you need to put aside every 2 weeks or every paycheck. Everybody doesn't get paid every 2 weeks. Some get paid, every month, however often your income comes out of every check, you need to be setting aside for this goal.
Got
Right.
you. Got you. No, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. So you're talking like it's not. I mean, well, yeah, you're talking smart goals, right? Like having an actual certain amount of number, a certain number that you set aside each month, something that's attainable, and then knowing that, all right, cool. If I set aside this amount each month, it's going to take me exactly this long to get to the amount of money that I want to save, like that.
Right. It's important for it to be a smart goal because you don't want to set something that's not achievable. You don't want to sit here and say, "Hey, I want to be a billionaire by tomorrow." You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I understand speaking things into existence, but you still have to have action to
Exactly.
do that goal. So yes, it should be a smart goal. It should be something specific. It should be measurable, right? Um,
Hmm.
Achievable. Like we said, we don't want to set something that's not possible because then what's the point of doing it? It
Right.
should be relevant and it should be time bound. I'm going to get here by this time.
Right.
So
Right.
it's important for it to be a smart goal for sure. Um,
Do you have any financial goals right now?
I actually do have a financial goal. My main financial goal is kind of personal, so I won't put that one out there. But
Okay.
another financial goal that I do have is to I would like to buy a house by the end of 2024. Another house. I'm sorry. I would like to buy another house in order to turn this one into an investment property by 2024. That's a big goal for me. But
Nice.
I also will not make the same mistake that I made with this house, where I put an extra large down payment on the home
Hmm.
with hopes of saving on PMI. That was cool and everything. But I want to leverage more of my credit.
Right.
So, so that's my thing. So mine is achievable now. Like I have the resources to do it now, but it's a matter of just so mine is a little different. Yeah, it's a
No,
matter
no, not really. I think that it's still a smart goal. It sounds like you have the time. You know you want to have it by the end of 2024.
right.
It just seems like more on you need to figure out the how. How much money do you need to save each month? And that's what you need to figure out next, right? Or
So that's where the difference is because it's not something I'm saving for because it's
Mhm.
something that I currently have. Um, but the mistake that I'm making is where I don't I guess I'm trying to time the market, and I know I shouldn't be doing that because
Uh,
like with the stock market is it's about time in the market and not about timing the market. If
yes. Yeah.
so right now with interest rates up and home values sky high, it's hard for me to pull the trigger. So
I get what you're saying.
that's why I say my current goal is a little different, and it's not really something that it's not. I mean, I can make it time bound, but it's not something that I'm typically saving for, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, no, no. You're more like trying to figure out a good time to purchase, not
Right,
yeah, but that's why you're giving yourself a whole year, right? Like the end of 2024 is a long time from now. So whenever you do feel like, all right, cool, now is the time to pull the trigger, or if the housing prices never go down, or if the interest rates never go down, then it's just gonna, you'll make that decision when it's time, right?
right. And
Yeah.
I've been stuck in limbo, and this oh just being transparent. This has been an ongoing battle for me, man.
Right,
So
right.
I kinda stuck. I know I'm not stuck, but it makes me feel stuck because this is there's this thing that I've wanted to do for years,
Hmm.
ability to do for years, but I keep procrastinating it, pushing it down the road just because it's not the right time. And I know I should pull the trigger, but I don't know, something keeps stopping me. So that that we're still on our financial journey. We're still learning, and we're still making mistakes like everybody else. So
Definitely, definitely. And it's funny, my financial goal is similar to yours, but mine is having purchased a house by the end of 2023. So by the end of this year. And my goal is smart because I am, looking at that time bound measurement. Uh, I'm actually also working with a company. I don't know if a lot of people on the live have heard, but it's called NACA, right? Which is basically like that. They pretty much allow you to purchase a home and not even need to use a down payment, right? So they have a bunch of uh, programs like that for people who are trying to set goals. This is one of them that can help with the purchasing a home goal, right? Something to look into. But my goal is basically trying to save roughly like a certain amount of money each month, right? Because that's one of the requirements when it comes to this program. You have to show that you're saving a certain amount of money each month, and with that, I created a budget in which I am saving a certain amount of money each month, right? And then I show that to them, and they say, okay. But yeah, again, that's just one of the prerequisites, showing that you can save a certain amount of money. So that is the uh, what is that called? That's the smart version of that goal. Saving a certain amount, knowing how much I need to save by a certain time, and it's attainable. It's something that I can do. It's not so far out of my reach that I am changing my life drastically to make this goal achievable. So, yeah, similar to your goal, mine is purchasing a home. It'll be my first home. But yeah, that's my current financial goal is to purchase a home. Hmm.
right.
So,
And as I was saying before, goals should be split up into short term, medium term, and long term goals. So a short term, an example would be like building an emergency fund or paying down credit card debt, depending on how much credit card debt you have, of course. A medium goal might be saving for a down payment for a home. That's not a always an easy task. You might have to save up tens of thousands of dollars in order to put a down payment um, on a home. And
mm,
is we're looking at something like retirement, something that you start now to save, put aside, and invest so that when retirement comes, you're ready and your money paying you for the rest of your life, and you're
mm.
back into the workforce because you haven't prepared properly.
Yeah, you talking legacy now. So, and that's important to me, right? Like making sure that you do have enough money, not just for yourself, but for the people that come after you. A lot of times in our community, we don't even recognize that, right? We have to figure it all out on our own. So long term goals. What's up?
Because in our community, man, man, and this is a mindset that kills me. Uh,
Mhm.
this phrase always irks me. It sets me off as a trigger for me. They say,
I know what you
"And
about to say.
you can't take the money with you." It's like,
Live fast, die. I'm like, man, come on.
and it's people with kids saying this. It's
Yeah,
kids. Like,
yeah,
the whole world is just gonna stop existing after you go.
right.
Like, what about your kids? Do you want them to go through the same struggles that you went through? Because most of us are starting over out here. You see what I'm saying? We're starting from ground zero. We built from the bottom, and it
Hmm.
be like that because, like these other people are passing down their wealth. I'm not even going. Yeah. So other people they're passing down their wealth, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, when you find sometimes you see these people and they're born off money, right? And people are just like, "Oh, you were born with that money. Oh, you didn't have to go through anything." Why is that a bad thing?
You know, I still people thrive on letting people know that they struggle, and for some
Yeah.
reason that's like commendable. It's like, man, I remember when I ain't had no lights. We used to have to take cold showers, and I mean, I guess that is a good thing to say because that's where you came from.
Yeah.
But to, like you said, knock somebody who whose parents decided to do the right thing or whose grandparents decided to do the right thing, if that person is humble about it, then it's not it's not bad. Like don't be a jerk if you were born with money and like, oh man, I got more money than you, haha. But if that person just happens to be fortunate enough and happens to have been taught that, look, this is how money works, this is how you plan for the future, this is how you do financial planning, this is what a retirement account is, this is how much money you can put into this savings account, taxes. If they're taught that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, I intend and will teach my children all those things. Right, we are going to have money conversations early on. It's not going to be something that they have to pick up and learn on their own. Will they learn their own way? Sure, but I will definitely teach them the basics. They will know and understand how money works well before they get into the world and start, needing to um, figure it out on their own. They'll at least have a base to stand on and say, all right, I remember that my dad taught me to put this much money away. He told me about interest. He told me about retirement. He told me the importance of it. He told me about compounding interest and how that can help me and benefit me. So yeah, that's something that we definitely have to change. And that's goes back to that long-term goal that you mentioned.
And I respect that because just you having that mindset will change your children's lives drastically. You see what I'm saying? Like,
100%. Yeah.
it, from them not starting from zero. I feel like if your children are going through the same struggles that you went through, you failed. You failed.
Not for real.
There's no reason for
Yeah,
that. There's
one
no
job.
that one job. Your child should be starting better than you. Your child should not have the same struggles.
Yeah. And I think that that goes directly into that next topic, which is identifying your priorities. What is important to you? What matters, right? If something like retirement or children and generational wealth doesn't matter, maybe we are talking and it's falling on deaf ears. Maybe they do want to just live fast, and not necessarily care about the generations that come after them. Some people, who knows? But that is, you have to think about your financial priorities when you are making these financial goals. If it's more important to you to start investing in the stock market, or sorry, if it's more important to you to go on vacation this year than it is to start investing in the stock market, then your goal is going to be saving money to go on vacation, right? And that's not going to, your mindset isn't even going to be there where you're like, I want to start saving now because I want to start investing in the stock market because I know the benefits of it. And instead, you're like, I am wanting to take a vacation. I want to see a place I've never seen before. I'm going to start saving for that. That's your priority. And that literally defines what our financial goals are going to be, what's important to us.
And we also have to think about the long term effects of this stuff. Because I know it's good, okay, I want to vacation now. You see what I'm saying? Of course, that sounds better than me putting my money away and not being able to use it right now. Of course, right now that sounds like the better option, right? But you have to look past that. You got to say, hey, where do I want to be when I'm 60? Where do I want to be when I'm 70? You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So conversation looks a little different because if somebody were able to see themselves at 60 and all they did was vacation every month, uh, and then they saw themselves at 60 when they invested during these times, they might not choose vacation now. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So right now, I feel like a lot more people are into this instant gratification
Absolutely.
instead of doing what's better for them in the long term. I
Yeah.
think to set a financial priority, you need to look at where you want to be long term because that's what matters, right? Of course, the present is important too. I agree with that. The present is important. I'm not saying don't ever vacation, don't ever buy some nice shoes. You should wear the same shoes for 5 years. I'm not saying. All right, so y'all lay off. I'm just saying be mindful of where you want to be long term and act accordingly.
Man. No, I get that. You telling them not to go outside, bro. They just trying to be outside. Bro. They just trying to be outside. No,
Outside,
but I think
outside
say
is
that
expensive.
one.
Outside.
Man, because I'm telling you, like people do have that mixed up. And they're if they're even if their goal is to vacation, being realistic, all these things take money. Like, and if you don't have money in order to do things like vacation, increase your education, purchase a home, have security for your family, that that has to kind of be one of the goals is to be financially stable, right? So despite you wanting to travel all the time, you have to have some goal that says this is how I'm going to pay for all that traveling. This is how I'm going to pay for my family's security. This is how I'm going to afford this lifestyle that I want or these things that matter to me. So even without thinking about all that, you still have to factor in that it costs money to do those things, right? It doesn't even, there's no way to shake that. So when you are thinking about your financial priorities, you just always have to think again, how am I going to pay for this? So either way, money comes into it either way. It doesn't even matter. So setting a goal and figuring out exactly how much you, or like you said before, where you want to be at when you're 60 years old, where you want to be at when you're 50 years old, 5 years from now, where you want to be at 5 years from now. Setting those financial goals are important and they just have to match what their financial priorities are. So, but yeah, what are some of the things that people can actually use though when they are trying to set these goals and they are trying to keep up with everything? How do they keep track of that?
um, a good way to keep track of your goals,
Hmm.
man, have a budget. You gotta have a budget. You gotta have a budget, man. You gotta have a budget. You gotta frequently review that budget also. So at the end of the month, you need to go back and say, okay, am I doing these things the right way? Like, how did I do? What did I
Yep,
money on? Did I do too well? Was this too easy? Okay, so against that goal. You see what I'm saying? Make that goal harder to where you can put more money into investments, maybe. Uh, yeah. So what do you think about that?
I agree with you 100%. I think the easiest and most simplest way to keep track of a financial goal is to have a budget. And it shouldn't be something that you set and forget. It has to change. It has to move with you. If you see that you're spending, I don't know, $300 on takeout, and you put that down and you're saying, I want to, that's you. You're saying, I want to save this amount of money. You got to make a change. You have to adjust what's happening in your budget to reach your financial goal. And a budget is pretty much a roadmap, right? It tells you exactly where all your money is coming in, tells you where it's going out, and it's visually it can easily guide you to reaching your financial goal, and it can tell you how long it's going to take. It can um, right. It can tell you what you need to, stop doing, what you can keep doing more of. So yeah, I think that a budget is the simplest way to track your progress. And I know we didn't even talk about it a lot, but paying down debt is another financial goal as well. And a budget can definitely help with that. If you got some credit cards that are sky high and you want to start chunking those down, they got different methods: debt snowball, debt avalanche, or the avalanche method, the snowball method, and all that you can track using a budget sheet. You can figure out interest rate and see which one you want to pay down first. So I think that tracking your progress using a budget is that's the simplest way to do it for
And
sure.
and by the way, if you need help with your budget and creating a $0 budget, uh, make sure you go to investorsplaybookllc.com and sign up for a consultation first, and then possibly a session after, and we'll get you right for
Plug
sure.
plug them in. You said something just now, and maybe you can help me out and the people that are listening. What is a $0 budget? Is that what you said?
Yes. So that means that every dollar has a name. It goes somewhere. So when
Mm,
you're you're earmarking every dollar to something, it's either going to bills, uh, entertainment, investing, retirement is going somewhere. So at the end of that pay period, you're starting over.
yep. Got you.
Just
Got you. No, that makes sense. And by $0, you basically saying, yeah, it's just zeroed out. Every
it's
si-
zero.
every money, every dollar that you have coming in has a home, and
Right.
your should say zero at the end. That's kind of the idea of it.
Exactly. And
Gotcha.
that provide to our clients.
Absolutely. You had to plug in, man. Yeah, we definitely do budget sheets. We do financial coaching, assisting you in any way. If you have some financial goals that you feel are maybe too hard to attain, or if you're just even figuring out what financial goals you need to create, right? Investors Playbook has your back. 100%. Check us out. Like Cornell said, investorsplaybookllc.com.
And when creating these plans, of course, and you have your clear goal. Well, another thing that people have to work on, you got to limit your distractions, man. There's a lot of distractions out here, and they come in different forms. It could be a person, it could be a hobby that's not so good. You know,
Mhm.
some of us have those. It could be a lot of different things. So when you're seeing where you want to be long term, you have to make sure that you're doing things in all realms of your life that get you there.
Yeah.
You
One
see,
thing that I know was a big distraction for me, and I'm just giving a personal story right now. When I came out here, started living, in LA, I didn't realize the stark difference that how much it was to even just go out, right? Go out for drinks or go out to a party. You spend so much money in a single night, and you don't even realize it because you're having fun, and not saying that you should not have fun. Just be mindful of what you are doing when you do go out, right? If your goal is to save money, if your goal is to pay down debt, you probably shouldn't be spending hundreds of dollars in a single night, for the turn up. Probably not. Maybe the turn up ain't going nowhere, and you could come back around later after reached your financial goal in a couple months or however long it takes. But yeah, that is a huge, huge distraction. And I think with that, people don't always realize how much they spend because they're microtransactions. They'll spend $12 on a drink, then they'll go spend 15 on the drink, then they'll go spend 18 on some food, and then they'll spend $12 on another drink. And then they'll get a drink for them and then they homie, and then now they spend 24. And all these tiny little transactions end up being hundreds of dollars. And they don't realize how much they're spending and how much they could be saving, because then you got the cost of the Uber. We staying safe out here, right? You got the cost of the Uber and the cost to get in the function. It's like a lot of things, a lot of little microtransactions that you don't realize start to affect your finances. We'd be like, man, I'm just spending $12. I'm just spending $15, but you do it 6 times. So
right? You just said something crazy, right? I never even thought about it like that.
What?
Because when you go into a place, it's so easy to do little transaction, little. But if you went to a place and the bill of everything that you did that night was something that you had to pay one time, and it was like $350, you would not pay that. You'd be like, nah, that's too pricey. But the fact they get you with that $15 drink, $15 drink, $15 drink, $50 hookah, uh, whatever, $30 lap dance, whatever you got going on.
Exactly, exactly. And you know what's crazy? I think even some people, and I don't. It might not just. It might just be me. I don't know. But I feel like in my head, when I give someone my card at the bar, and I'm like, close out my tab. That is my way of saying I'm probably not gonna get it, but then I'll go back to the bar and I'll buy another drink and close out my tab again, and then I'll go back to the bar and buy another drink. And I
Right.
just keep closing out my tab and signing my name over and over again. It's like that ain't no better than just leaving the tab open. Like, yeah. So I'm telling you, man, the microtransactions get you, and you won't even realize it until you look at your statement, until you look at how much money you spent at this function or add up all the numbers. And a lot of people don't do that either, right? Looking at their financial statements and seeing how much money they're actually spending, where it's going. Cause yeah, it happens faster than you think, man.
I can agree to, and I'm definitely guilty of that also. Those
Yeah.
drinks add up, man.
Oh,
Alcohol probably like, yeah, it costs a bill. Like when you're going out to these restaurants, and especially if you're doing it for two, oh,
hmm.
ridiculous at that point. And it in our society, it's become normal, right?
Yeah. Yes, it has. It has become normal.
And it's to the point where if you're not doing it, people are asking you, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Why are you not doing this? We're
Oh,
doing it."
you're talking about drinking, like going out and drinking.
Yes, if you go out and decide not to drink and you decide not to spend that money, you don't want to take 5 shots right now, then you're the weird one. You're why are you healthy while we're doing you know what I'm saying? Like something's not right with you. And
Right.
it's it, I feel like we have to stop doing that. When someone decides that they want to make a positive change in their life, because not drinking alcohol is positive, no matter how you look at it. Like they're being conscious of their health or their money, whatever it is, they're doing it for a positive reason. I promise you that.
Yeah. It's
So
boundaries, man. It's boundaries. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's really what it is. Like,
it's important.
yes, allowing people to just kind of come and change your mind about something you decided to do.
Right.
That's- like we're not in college, we're not peer pressure. Like we are adults. We are full grown adults who have the ability to make decisions on our own for the benefit of ourselves or for our future selves or whatever the case may be. So yeah.
And I feel like that's a different conversation because we're talking about limiting distractions. And in order to do that, you have to have those boundaries because these people around here, around you, they do not have your best. They don't have the best intentions for you.
Yeah, yeah. Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes they do, but the people who are trying to convince you to to do to do things just because they're doing it, yeah, maybe not.
And some people may think that they have the best. They just want you to have fun. You
Right.
get they just want to have fun. But
Mm,
at the end of the day, that does not align with your goals at that time. So
right.
you have to have those boundaries and you have to be the grown adult and tell them, hey, I'm all right.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
a good. I like that one.
Yeah, that was good, man. I think people are gonna pick some gems up off of that one for sure. I think it's gonna hit home for a lot of people too, because yeah, yeah, it's like a every if you like just kind of allow yourself to go with the flow, it can almost be an every weekend thing that you find yourself going out doing, you know, going out buying drinks or whatever the case may be. But you just have to be conscious. You got to realize what it is you're doing and not just kind of go with the flow. But that's why setting goals are important. If you have no idea where you want to go, no idea what you want to do, you are just going to end up going with the flow because
Mm.
you have nothing that keeps you on a path. You're just living life frivolously and just being like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do this, I'll do that, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. We'll figure it out later. Yeah, that doesn't really work. For some people. For some people, it doesn't really work. Some people might want to live that kind of life, but for me, I have financial goals. And because of that, I have to make financial decisions and make financial sacrifices, like choosing when to like for me now. One of the things that I've kind of cut back on doing is if I'm going out to dinner, whether it's with friends, I find myself not really purchasing drinks at dinner with people. I'll just drink water, because the food you buy, cool, $18. And then you buy a drink that costs the same amount as the food that you just bought. So you've doubled your meal for for a margarita. You know what I mean?
That you need another one for just to feel how you want to feel. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think I didn't want to be the one to say that, but it ain't really gonna do nothing for you. It's not gonna do nothing for you. You gotta get about three of them just for you to feel that buzz that people, look for when they drinking. And that's like $40, you know? And that on top of the meal, it just ends up increasing. So what you thought was gonna be a 25 $30 outing ended up being like an 80 $90 outing because you wanted to add drinks on top of that. So yeah, that's just one of the steps that I personally have taken. And consciously, anytime I go out, I'm just like, no, I'm good, I'll just take a water. No, I'm good, I'll just take a water. And that's just, yeah, it's worked out so far. And it's not anything that I miss like at all. So
And I'm not gonna lie, I appreciate you voicing that to me a while ago because I actually adopted that same thing. Uh,
mhm.
I go out because I've been going to a lot of events lately. I've been going to a lot of restaurants. I've always gone to a lot of restaurants, but with me going out so frequently, multiple times a week, it's like, dang, I'm drinking here, here, here. I gotta calm down. You see what I'm saying? So for the past few, I just haven't been drinking. Like I went to a cookout, and that's really why I said it. I went to a family cookout, and people offering. You know how family can be. They offering shots like here, here, and then I say, "Nah, I'm good." They like, "Oh, what didn't happen? Why, why,
Not what didn't happen.
why, why something gotta happen for me to make?"
They said, "What? You not drinking, Cornell? What's wrong? Is everything okay?" Not why are you drinking so much? Is everything okay? You're not drinking. Are you good? Like
Like you
what?
gotta be, you gotta be in the exact middle for you to be okay. It's like okay, you can eat, but you can't do little either. You gotta be right.
Right.
People are funny, man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe they're just used to you being a certain way. Because it was the same with me. Whenever I do decide to just have let's just say a month where I don't want to drink, it's such a surprise to people. But I think it's because Deshaun is the one that's always like, let's turn up, let's drink. So for me to be like, I am not drinking this month, they see it as, oh, what is everything okay? Are you good? What's wrong? And then it's nope, I'm just deciding not to do it for a bit. That's all, no big deal. Uh, but yeah, it's it's funny anytime that I do have that conversation with someone if we're out and I say, no, I'm not right now, right? So, but yeah, um, yeah, I think we hit it all, Cornell.
I, I,
Everything you wanted to add to the financial goal conversation?
no, I think we hit everything, but I would like to tell everybody just thank you for supporting us. A lot of people have been coming back telling me their feedback. I really appreciate y'all. I can't express that enough. But if you're seeing this right now, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the video, or if you're listening to the podcast, like and subscribe there, and follow us on Investors Playbook LLC on both IG and YouTube. We really thank y'all so much.
Yes, 100. And I just want to say also for me, thank everyone who's been supporting us. We are on episode 4 now. I can't wait to say episode 50, episode 100.
Right,
We're
right.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there, man. But no, It has been this whole business has been a journey, a fun one. Just all about learning, and just figuring out how best we can provide to the people in the community that we feel needs to hear what we're trying to preach. So we're all about financial prosperity. We're all about financial freedom. We're all about reaching your financial goals. Cornell said it all earlier. You know where to find us: Instagram, YouTube, Investors Playbook LLC. And yeah, that wraps up another episode of
Yeah.
Investors Playbook Live.
We
Episode 4 in the books. So yeah, catch us next week, man. Thank y'all.
peace.